There it is. What a background. Hmm. Here we go. You there?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Going well. Just
Um,
getting packed up and crazy.
are you
Leaving for
literally
college.
gonna hop in the taxi right after this show?
No. We're leaving tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. We're driving from
Oh,
Austin
nice.
to Boulder.
Yeah, so I guess the plan is that it's gonna start in the campfire and then we're gonna come to this Zoom.
Cool.
Um, so I got you in the slide as Hashbrown. Do you want me to put Rob or Robert or something?
Just put Hashbrown and then in parentheses, Rob.
All right, cool. Yep, let me just
Sweet.
figure that out. I'm gonna have to determine the order of who goes first. I'm gonna have you guys choose dice number, and then I'm gonna roll 5 6-sided dice, and then
Nice.
whichever numbers get the most. It's gonna be like really arbitrary and random, but that's fun, right?
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah, it'll waste a minute or two just for pointless fun.
Nice. Yeah, exactly.
Um, nice. All right, I'll catch back in with you. And but yeah, we got to talk about the freaking podcast and stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm down to do it afterwards. I'm just chilling. I just took a shower and stuff, so I'm taking a break from doing
Okay.
stuff. So
I
we can
might
definitely catch up.
I might be driving right after this to go to the hospital. I'm not sure if I'm gonna either if he's gonna be there for another day, then I'll go tomorrow. But yeah,
Gotcha.
I'll
Okay.
we'll chat after this though, either like text or whatever.
Perfect. All right, cool. I'll see you in a little bit.
Kent, so I guess it's gonna start in the Discord and then we're gonna come in here. But you can stay in
Okay.
here. If you can be in two places at once, you're welcome to.
I can try. Does that work?
I don't know.
All right, I'm looking at Discord. Where am I going?
I have a VHS set up.
What was that?
I have a VHS camcorder set up. I'll have to get that thing out and set that up next
Yeah.
call for sure, because that has a really good look to it too.
Nice. Yeah, so I've been I had no camera for a really long time, and then I got a crappy Logitech thing, and everybody knows that one. And now I have like HD. So here we are. So welcome everybody to Shill Anything 1.1. This is we're iterating on a simple idea built around a fork of the idea of teach anything, which is that we give a place for people to be experts in something and contribute to their community. But in most communities in Web3 especially, shilling is like, don't do that. Please keep that, or like put it in a corner, but we're going to put it on a pedestal, because that is where you put the good stuff that you like. You put it on a pedestal. And so I'm gonna share my screen. I've got a little intro thing that is improved from last time. And can you see my screen, everybody?
Sir.
All right. So wait, full screen. You know what it is. It's Shill Anything 1.1. Before we start, are there any questions from anybody? Like, do you all know why you're here? Anybody's confused about stuff? No?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely confused, but we'll just move on.
Exactly.
That's just a
That's the standard.
That's a general. Yeah.
Okay, so well, that was the first slide, and to unconfuse you, this is the second slide. Today's contenders, we have Kent. Say hi, Kent.
Hey, everybody. I think I'm unmuted. Is that correct?
You're doing it great.
All right.
And
good.
Kent's going to be talking about the Decline House. And we got Hashbrown, aka Rob, doing
Hello.
Ambire Wallet. Say hi, everybody.
What's going on, everybody?
Yo. So that's us. And in order to keep things random and fair, we're gonna do a little bit of choosing some numbers, and I'm gonna roll some dice, and then these guys are gonna determine who goes first and who goes second, because it could matter. So Kent, because you went before, I'll let you choose the first number of the 1 through 6. Which one do you want?
I'll pick 6.
All right, so Kent's got a 6. Hashbrown, Rob, you get 2 choices now.
I'll do a 4 and a 2.
Okay, and last choice, Kent.
3.
All right, here we go. Now, this is where this camera, this handy dandy, beautiful camera comes in handy, and you can get the true verifiable randomness. Here we go. Oh, what do we got? We got a 3,
3. Right.
a 5. Oh, I just took a picture. A 3, a 5, a 6, and a 4. So we have a 3, 2 3s, 2 3s, and a 6, and 1 4, and no 2s. Well, Kent, I think that means you have won the dice roll. So
Okay.
would you like to go first or second?
I think I'd like to go second because I have no idea what it is Rob is up to. I know he's spoken about it before and I missed the entire thing. So all I know is the name.
Wow.
And this is all brand new stuff going on. I just joined the team a little while ago. So yeah.
Awesome. So you're on the spot. So that's great.
All right.
And lastly, audience, that's me, I guess, JD, Matt, and
too.
Earl.
Yep.
Oh, we're all here. Great. So
Nice.
you're the deciders. You get to be a cabin. One of the, if you want to choose one of these dragon images, you can just have it. Like, I'm okay with you choosing one. Does anybody want to choose one or 2? 1? No, 1.
I kind of like the first one.
Who said that?
I did. Kent.
Kent, you're not in the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that part of it. I thought you were
You're
just
gonna
asking
get
all
a
of us.
prize of the gold, and we're
Oh.
oh yes, that's right. The rules of the game. That's this slide. Yeah. So basically the rules are the audience are the deciders. So we'll have like, maybe we'll do a breakout room at the end and discuss and then deliver our deliberations. But basically the format is Rob goes first. He gets 10 minutes to shill his heart out, and then we'll have 5 minutes of question and answer. So feedback, hard hitting monetization thingies that people say to sound business like. And then next, Kent, right into Kent on time. And then Kent's going to get 10 minutes. I'll be timing it. Don't worry. And then Kent gets 5 minutes of Q&A, and then we're done with like the battle. And then the audience, us cabin dragons, as we're going to be called, we are going to be deliberating and choosing the winner. And that winner is going to win the double or nothing prize of 10 cabin, which according to Roxine is valued over $15,000, I think, currently in the Roxine verse. So that's the basic rules. So I'm gonna give Matt and Earl and JD a chance to get first dibs on one of these dragon images, and we could just go ahead and say that's an NFT if you want it to be. I'll let it be so.
The top middle one,
Top middle.
the blue, yeah.
Okay. Matt, do you want one?
Middle right, please. The one that looks like he's hugging the fire.
Okay.
Watch Grinch.
All right, good. And JD, which one do you want?
I think I like middle left.
Middle left. Oh yeah, that's definitely my favorite one. Yeah, so go ahead, audience members, take a screenshot and save it onto your computer and label it mynft.jpg, and you'll be rich. So may the best shill win. That's my intro, everybody. Rob, go.
Awesome. Thank you for that amazing intro. The rules, etc. Okay, cool. Well, I'm Rob. I am shilling Ambire Wallet, and more specifically the Ambire Wallet DAO. Nice. So more specifically the Ambire Wallet DAO and our contributor group that we're going to be starting with. But first, I guess a little background about Ambire Wallet and what it is. So Ambire is a self-custodial smart contract wallet that interacts with other smart contracts. And so in that way, it's different than a browser extension wallet or a mobile wallet in specific. We do have a mobile wallet. We have browser extensions, which can be confusing, but I'll get more into that later. But the idea is that it's a smart contract that can sign other contracts. It can interact with contracts. So that opens up a huge amount of UX possibility for integrations, plugins, and other features that we haven't even thought of necessarily. And in a nutshell, it is similar to something like a multi-sig wallet, but that idea of something like a Gnosis wallet versus a smart contract wallet is contrasted by a smart contract wallet includes multi-sig wallets. And so you can have multi-signers on a smart contract wallet, but a multi-sig wallet is just a multi-sig. So ours extends and allows you to use it just like a normal wallet to interact with OpenSea, to interact with NFTs, interact with smart contracts in the form of dApps in order to sign transactions and do all those things. But it also, because it allows for something like account abstraction, you can do things like seedless onboarding. So with Ambire, there is no seed phrase, and you can then do things like email and password recovery or login, use like the aforementioned multi-sig. So you can add multiple signers in the form of other wallets. in the form of hardware wallets, in the form of other contracts. And then there's also account recovery via Argent's social recovery and time lock recovery. So really unlocks a huge amount of possibility that isn't possible with other self-custodial, or excuse me, non-custodial, self-custodial wallets that make you keep your seed phrase, make you worry about a piece of paper or storing that information in a very safe place. And if you lose it, it's impossible to recover. And on more of the kind of features that the users see, you can do things like spending limits on certain wallets. You can create sub wallets that have spending limits or that only interact with certain contracts, as well as the normal stuff, signing messages, interacting across chain as well, doing roll-ups so that you can do batch transactions. It makes it super easy in terms of the interface in order to set that up. And then on the security side and layer, it allows us to do a lot more in terms of, for instance, we can show and emulate the transaction. So instead of interacting with a potentially dangerous contract, we can actually show what that contract might do, what its intent is before you actually execute on that transaction, or what gas fees, or again, what the outcome of that transaction might be. And then the other piece is gas. So with our wallet, you can pay in other stable coins. You can pay with stable coins or in other coins as well. So that makes it a lot easier to understand gas fees. And we also have a gas tank feature, so you can fill up a tank and get refunds back in the form of wallet token. So there's a bunch of features that are possible via the smart contract side, but also that Ambire's adding in terms of this. We have a staking reward system, so you can actually earn token with our wallet token. So that's kind of the wallet in a nutshell, and that's the company and the background of the wallet itself. The thing that we're looking to do is to turn on an actual community of contributors and bring people in. So the concept of the smart contracts and them being able to integrate into other dApps, other platforms and services, we'd like to be able to have builders come into our community and start doing things like lobbying for pull requests for something like Web3 Wallet Connect has their modal, and getting it added to their modal as one of the wallets. And that was one of like the early on quests and tasks that we had within our community. So in terms, we're looking first for a group of builders and people that are familiar maybe with GitHub and with code repositories to be able to help us build integrations, integrate other dApps, and then also do these lobbying pull requests and looking to integrate as a first kind of step, as we're looking specifically to build out functions and functionality and extra things. But also we're going to be looking for others to contribute to spreading the word, to creating social content, creating roll-ups, memes, also helping us to onboard as we start to face more of a public group. For the first rollout, we're looking for this tight group of builders that can help really add value. And with that added value, we'll be rewarding people basically through our wallet token itself, which has liquidity, and also through, so we'll have the idea of being able to reward people through wallet token, but also we'll have grants that will be available that people can apply for through application and smaller kind of proposal and that side of the DAO. And our wallet token ultimately will be our governance token. And so the idea is to bring and build a community of people that can help us decide what features and other platforms bring these to us and help us to understand and partner with these dApp builders and platform builders to build, this idea of a wallet that's super useful and usable out there. So that is my shill, and I'll be doing an onboarding. We have an onboarding form right now that we're passing around. So if anybody is actually interested, I will keep going. No, I can't keep going. That's good. I'm good.
Woo! Well, Shill under time. You literally have 3 minutes. So do we want to just add that to the Q&A? We say like,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. So
So I feel like I ran through a lot of information that might be
yeah,
of interest or have questions about.
I mean, you might want to like take a zoom out and just sort of hit some of the main points again.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
case
So
we forgot.
yeah, definitely. So the idea with Ember Wallet itself is a non-custodial wallet. You own it yourself, but you don't have to worry about keeping your seed phrase secret and private. There is no seed phrase with Ambire. The usability of it allows you to log in with your username and password, use social recovery through Argent's method, and be able to do two-factor or all other multi-sig functions that are available in multi-sig wallets. But with our smart contract wallet, it allows you to interact with other smart contracts in a safe and secure way. And we're turning on our contributor DAO and are looking for first set of builders to help us build integrations, plugins, and spread the word. And as we face the public and open up as a whole, we'll look for more people to contribute to content creation, social memes, and helping us to onboard more people. And I'll be passing around a onboarding form if anybody is interested.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we still got a minute and a half, so Q&A is open. Dragons, fire away.
Unleash.
No, this is very, very cool. It's like Gnosis is like more for like multi-sig, like you said. But honestly, like that's the way all accounts should be. I mean, the only thing that I know of that has smart contract wallets right now is like Argent. Yeah. But like I've been doing a hackathon on Near, and what would be like so cool is to have like actual function keys. So you can just give them off to people, and then they will be able to actually execute functions on your smart contract.
Oh, that's cool.
And you pay the gas or like whatever. They can do some stuff, but it's like only limited to that, right? Or something like that. Like it'd be really
that's super
cool.
interesting. I like that actually gating it to a particular event or to to a contract itself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you can almost have like an ENS kind of like sub where you get these function keys, and then if everyone has smart contracts, essentially, then you can say which if they all have smart contract wallets, then you can assign you can assign these smart contracts to act like, well, that works also.
They
but
could
if
be
they
all
don't have,
other signers. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
They could actually be signers under one main. Yeah.
exactly, and that works too. Or have an actual key sent to them if they don't have anything set up yet. So like sign something.
Yeah, someone who was doing like kind of like that idea of like an airdropped wallet. They won the ETH hackathon just before DevCon. I'm trying to remember the name, but they were setting up kind of these dummy wallets where you could essentially assign them to, like, let's say Elon Musk, and then it's a social proof. So it's like you log in with your Twitter, and then it has the wallet and it says, okay, I can claim these tokens. It was a kind of interesting way of using smart contracts and then using the social proof side. But
exactly,
cool.
yeah. So stuff like that, and especially for gaming, I feel like gaming that'd be huge, like to have that in gaming.
Yeah, and a ton of them are doing that right now, where they're just kind of creating the wallets in the back end, and people don't necessarily know that it's blockchain based, but it's, absolutely creating like a dummy wallet or a,
yeah, exactly. But no, like that's honestly like very needed. Like we have no account abstraction with Ethereum. Are you going to be supported on like other layer 2s, I guess?
Yeah, so we're on Optimism, and hold on, let me just, so I can quote correctly. Yeah, we're on all the major layer twos, and Arbitrum was the one that was outstanding in my head. But Gnosis and Andromeda, KuCoin, Moonbeam, Moon River, Phantom Opera, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Polygon.
Very cool.
All right, well, those were really hard hitting fireballs out of the Earl. JT and Matt, what do you got for him? And feel free to like get meta, talk about the performance or
I'm
Shill.
super curious about the password recovery and like the social recovery. Could you like go into that a little bit of like how that works, and like curious like what I'm super curious because this is a self-custodial solution, but I'm in my head like some sort of like password recovery would have to be centralized in some way. So could you go into like how that'll work?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not on the technical side. There's the team that's completely built this product and built it
Gotcha.
out of essentially the need. They built an ad product that was blockchain based, and they had huge difficulty with their clients basically adopting blockchain wallets and wanting to touch any side of that. So that idea that they were able to actually set them up wallets as a multi-sig where they were able to set it up for them, and they could then add signers, or they realized that there was a huge need. And they actually were we just tweeted this out about, we were one of the first to work with Gnosis in order to make like a multi-sig off of theirs in order to enable our clients to use. I'm happy to talk with you after and connect you also with some of our dev side, because I also have a couple of podcasts that Evo was on, who's our founder and the CTO. That would be great for sure that I can share, because it's definitely way above my pay grade when it comes to what they're actually deploying, because they're like, we have account abstraction, but we don't technically have account abstraction yet. So I know that it's a whole technical behind the scenes. So I'd be happy to share that with you.
Sure. Yeah, totally. That'd be awesome.
Good. That was a good question. I'm going to just say we have like 30 seconds left. We can extend it a little bit so JD gets a turn. I do want to give some feedback to Rob. For questions like that, maybe it would be beneficial for you to have like a quick thing to say about the trade-offs. Like what did we trade off to get you the ease of UX? And obviously you didn't trade away all the security properties, but
right. No, that's a good point. I like that. Just like that, the idea that you're not necessarily, for instance, giving away your actual seed phrase or your keys in order to get account recovery via email and password or through social, that you're giving up then some ability for you to be able to verify via other channels that you are indeed the person that you say you are. So that gives up some privacy, I think, overall, rather than security.
Yep. JD, what you got?
Yeah, I thought it was really informative. I'm not the most like technical, blockchain person, so a lot of this stuff was kind of over my head, which is fine. I think that one thought was coming to my mind of just like knowing who your audience is for when you shill in the future. Like if it's a super technical audience, that's great. And it seems like some of your offerings are actually for a more technical audience. Maybe it's great to have someone on the dev team, on a call with you sometimes, depending on, the stakes of the call.
Definitely.
And then maybe, for an audience member like me who doesn't really know much, hearing things like account abstraction and like code repositories and stuff, like it's making me more confused. And then, once I was confused a little bit, I was almost a little bit less engaged. Not to your fault, just I don't know what's
totally
going
understandable.
on.
Yeah.
So, I think just kind of knowing, which type of presentation am I giving right now, and if it's to an audience that's more like me versus Matt, who I'm sure was actually understanding what you were talking about. Like if it was to more like me, I'd be very interested in kind of having you start from like the beginning. Like, what is a smart contract? Like, what is a wallet? What is the
Yeah, fully.
benefit of, you know, this type of wallet versus other type of wallet, and trying to explain it as simply as possible. But I thought it was informative, and yeah, maybe some more examples would be helpful too. Like an example of a problem with like a regular browser extension wallet that, you know, your product is kind of solving, I think would be really helpful to help, you know, paint the picture a little bit. But yeah, it was a good,
Cool.
and maybe even some visuals could be helpful too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
for sure.
Hey, let me actually do a live demo here for you to see how easy this is. I think that'd be nice. But yeah, I thought it was good, and appreciate you sharing.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the feedback. Definitely like visual examples, more of that like specific to like MetaMask does this, for instance, and our wallet can help to protect that because we can actually show a warning, etc. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, talk about our moms. Be like, what's your mom gonna do
Yeah.
when she
This
loses
is like
her password?
this is like
But-
tapping into like the eternal perils of blockchain UX. And,
Yep.
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're at time here, and I'm just gonna pass it over to Kent. So everybody, like, you know, take a drink of water. I guess Kent, here we go. Kent, you're on mute though, so you gotta unmute.
Yeah, no, I got you now.
Okay.
I just forgot to bring my water or my coffee or anything, but that's okay. I'll make it through. I have a lot of questions. We'll get back to that. Yeah, so I'm here to talk to you today. I'm going to shill my project, which I call the Kind House. But a little bit about myself. I've been working on this project for almost 6 years now, of how to make housing not just easier, but better. The point is, I want to make an eco-savvy, super resilient home the default that people go to, not something you work your way toward. You just start off that way and then keep expanding on this pattern. And that's what it all comes down to, is a pattern, a new way of building. Because people need more opportunities, and the biggest barrier I see for that in Hawaii, where we have incredibly expensive housing, is people are indebting themselves from the start. And once you're indebted, you don't have the freedom to follow your own dreams, because you have to worry about making the mortgage every month. You can't take advantage of an opportunity because you've got this overhead. So the whole point of the Kind House is to put a roof over your head so you have less overhead. Does that make any sense? I hope so. Because once you own your own place, you've got freedom. You can take off, you can go do other things. So a little bit about myself is I apprenticed as a boat builder as a young man, grew up in an engineering family, went on to design stuff like telescopes and microscopes. And one thing I've found out is the way a lot of industries operate is by legacy of what's come before. And working interdisciplinary the way I have, I've seen a lot of problems approached from different directions. And I've taken all that and what I learned designing and building my own house here in Hawaii, and I said, we can do this easier, but not following the patterns we follow now. And big thing I've been always interested in is not having a square house. I've been playing with hexagons and octagons for many, many years. So the Kind House is a house based on a new architectural system I've got a patent pending on called hexene architecture. And it literally just breaks everything down into hexagons, all the way back to the trees themselves, to the way of harvesting trees to maximize the yield from each log. Because taking a circle and breaking it down into rectilinear forms, there's a lot of waste. A more efficient way to do it is to break it down into a hexagon. Radial sawing, like a big star pattern, just with 6 cuts. And the US Forestry Service did the research on this. And they said the best way to maximize the yield from the log is to cut it this way. And then you can square off all those little trapezoids you get and still get a much higher yield than the way we square a log now. And it takes out all the strange tension you get in the log because of the growth rings. They're all circular. hexagon is going to give you a much better yield of what they call backsawing. So I took all this and I said, we can build better houses and get more yield from our trees by cutting it this way. And if we find some form that uses that trapezoid, that would totally maximize the yield from our forests. And that's what I've done with hexagon architecture. So I'm going to try to share my screen and show you a little bit about how the houses go together. Okay. I hope I can share my screen. Let's see. This up. Oh, I
It
lost
is
you guys.
enabled.
Ta-da, share captions, share screen. Okay. Hopefully you're seeing something that looks like a cabin logo there.
Yep. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's what.
All right. Let me straighten that out for you. Here we go. All right. Now you can see what we're working with. So it's all about the hexagons, right? I'm going to turn this one off so you can see what's happening underneath. This is the little hexagonal plate I've come up with. And the idea is with this plate, you can bolt together a really strong structure. Instead of going with standard 2x4 lightweight materials, thinning everything down, like our 2x4s have gone from actual 2x4 down to 1.5 by 3.5 because they can minimize things and get more yield from the log. It's a big thing. But we can do it just by using a 4x6 cut so the tip fits into this hexagon. And I'll zoom out here a little bit. It's going to be kind of fast, sorry. So when you're looking down on this hexagon house, each of these triangles is 4 feet on a side. And I lock myself into this hexagonal pattern. That way I can manufacture the pieces. So the different colors you see here are identical. So the white piece here is identical to the white piece here. The light blue piece here is identical to that light blue piece there. To give you an overview, this can all be pre-cut and shipped to you in a 20-foot shipping container, unpacked and bolted right back onto, over, and surrounding the shipping container. Oh, something is hidden here. Let me see. There we go. So in the lower right, you see everything pretty much cut up, packed in the shipping container. There's also mechanicals pre-installed in the shipping container up near the roof so that everything comes right up through the roof of the container, plug and play into the house. Here we see all the pieces unpacked. They're pretty much identical. I can kind of zoom in on it and show you all the tips of all these beams, which are 4x6, are cut exactly the same. All these little white tips are just little triangles. And what they do is they receive these hexagonal hardware pieces that I've designed. So everything goes together with one size of hex head bolt. So the idea is give you a little power socket wrench, you get a couple friends together, and you can assemble this entire house. It all comes down to the way the wall panels go together. I'll zoom over to show you that. What we're looking at here is the column is made up of vertical 2x4s cut into trapezoids. Very easy to do that on a table saw. And then the panel that's going to have a wall has grooves, dado cuts put into it. Fairly simple, easy to mass manufacture. There's a little plate on top. And with that, we go back here to the floor plan. Everything just fits together. So here, the container is under the house this way. This wall of the bathroom is 2 separate walls that are pre-plumbed. Once the deck is in, you plug and play in place. The floor panels are free-floating stone, a sintered stone called neolith. All this can be pre-cut by the manufacturer in their factory and shipped to us en masse. That brings the prices down for everybody as a commodity. So a little detail on how the connectors go together. It seems really complicated, but it really isn't. You just stack the plates on either side of a beam and you run the bolts up and down as required. Below here is one of the vertical columns. Above is a horizontal beam that has lag screws going up into it. I'll circle to the inside of this on the inside of the frame. It's all a very simple connection. If you can run a hex head wrench, you can put the whole house together. The rafters, much the same thing. I'm using similar colors or telling you it's an identical piece. So if you can assemble a Lego thing, you can put this together and it shows you where all the pieces go. This is one facet and they're all the same as we go around. So I'll stop the share on that unless anybody wants to see something particular on here.
You got a minute and a half left in your pitch time, so if you want people to ask questions now about it, you could.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll show you below how I plan on having this. The shipping container will be done so that you can imagine there's 2 power walls up on one side of the container installed up near the roof on this side. And then once everything is unpacked, the back half of the container can have a food grade liner set up that catches the water off the roof. And that water weights that steel box that your house is bolted down to. And then all the plumbing and everything is just right there directly under the bathroom. Goes straight up the floor. This hexagon here shows you the bathroom. The other thing about this design is it's modular. See how the bathroom here fits within one hexagon? So this could be mirrored as a bathhouse. So you could have 4 bathrooms up above, just mirroring about the container up top. And then you could just bring the whole thing down again. So you'd have 8 private bathrooms surrounding this one shipping container. Great way to centralize infrastructure. And that's pretty much it. Because it's a hexagon, it will nest to other ones. If you wanted to put another unit nearby, you could unbolt the section, put a little aerial bridge here, have another unit right next to it, with or without the infrastructure in the container.
How did the stairs get made?
Oh, the stairs are really interesting. Normally it would be very difficult to put a set of stairs, but it's 4 different cabinets basically that fold together with hinges. So you pull it out of the container, you unfold it, and you just bolt it to the center column. Let's see if I can zoom on that for you.
Well,
I don't have all the details. But you
time's
can
up.
kind of get
But
the idea from underneath. You could just zoom right into it with a lag bolt. And I have a little cardboard example of it somewhere, but I don't have it right in front of me. But there's going to be a lot of interesting furnishing details for this house because of all the triangles. The roof is going to be panelized. See, these will be solar panels integrated into the roof. And then the columns themselves act as raceways, channels for bringing wiring, plumbing, ventilation up and down from the roof all the way into the container. So in a fire-prone area, you could actually have sprinklers that run up those columns to literally bathe the house in water. Put a little bubble of water over it in Northern California when the fires are raging. And if you had to, if you couldn't get away, you could take shelter in the shipping container. So now I'm over my time, sure.
Yep, but we've started your Q&A time has started.
Let's first show some love to my man, Ken. That was great, Ken.
Yeah, that was a great presentation.
I'm hoping Rob feels like he can pull this off in Austin for us because I want to build one in Austin.
Nice. I actually have a friend that is looking at a 30-acre property outside of, I think, towards the northeast. And they're looking to put quite a few pieces of property and maybe turn it into one of the cabin neighborhoods. It's Kevin from, he's been to a few cabin things. Is working on some UX and dev stuff right now, but you might have some property that could go up on.
Cool. Yeah, my goal with this when I started out is I was trying to get it all pre-certified through structural engineer to go national and exceed all the building codes everywhere. And I've just been running into all kinds of static from these guys about you have to build one and we'll put it on a shake table. That's the only way to know for sure. I was like, well, guys, if I had $250,000, I wouldn't even be speaking to you.
Yeah.
So it's that chicken and the egg problem. So people have always said, have you built one yet? So a good friend of mine, who the first house I built on the island was a redwood and cedar octagon sculpture studio for his wife on the hillside behind his 100-year-old plantation house. Well, now closer to the house, I'm building an octagon for his second wife. So it's going to be a yoga studio. And it's based on this plan. So I have photographs of all that I could share to show you the progress, how that's moving along.
Octagon, not hexagon.
Yeah, the first one was an octagon. And having built that octagon and then the house I'm sitting in right now, which is a double octagon, I realized I was on the right track years ago thinking hexagons are better than octagons. And just for that purpose of every section of a perfect hexagon is identical, the equilateral triangle. With an octagon, you've got differing angles and pieces are going to be a little bit different. The walls end up being short. I said, just think about the connections. It's got that many less connections to deal with. And that's what I went with my house design, is I had to pound thousands of nails into this house. And I thought, I've built other things that are way stronger than that don't have a single nail. Why am I spending all my time in the sun pounding nails, busting my thumbs? So I'll just upgrade my hardware and bolt it together. And then I can take it apart and move it if I want to. Said, yeah, I spend more upfront on the hardware, but the maintenance is going to be zero if I do all stainless steel hardware. And that's a big problem we have in Hawaii. It's not just salt air from the ocean. We have volcanic fume, which just accelerates the corrosion of everything. And I have a little piece of galvanized metal that fits the building code in my backyard. And if I pick it up and go like this, it falls apart. And that's less than 10 years. That's your lesson, is don't buy any house in Hawaii that's more than 10 years old, because it met code when they built it, but corrosion has destroyed all the fasteners. So good wind blows and that house is just going to come apart, because the galvanized nails act like wicks, drawing the moisture into the wood, which then just accelerates the decomposition. You can go down the highway and see brand new guardrails on the volcano, or not brand new, but like 3 or 4 years old, and they're just orange. Galvanized highway guardrails. And
Guys,
we live in that same.
I have to hop to another call, but I just wanted to say, Kent, I think this was like definitely like a much better shill than last time. It felt more organized. I think you were more concise, and I think it was really great. I like that you moved through the graphic. I love that the tagline of like, this house helps you follow your dreams. That was great. I think you can even tie that into the fact that it's movable too. So if you find out that your dreams are somewhere else, you can then go follow
Dreams
them.
Dreams change
Yeah.
all the time. They should. They get better.
So that's that. I like the overhead and overhead play. I thought that was really interesting. I thought your intro was good. I think what could be cool is like intro the project in like 2 sentences, like super short, then go into an intro about who you are and why like you are the guy for this project, and then come back to the actual project, and then keep hitting on the price. I really do have to go right now, but a couple like other thoughts that were kind of circling is like, I'm very curious about the cost. Like, what do you estimate the cost to be? You don't have to answer this now. I'm just gonna like leave you with some thoughts. How much would it be to ship? And then how do you navigate kind of the last mile problem of once it's shipped to where you are, getting it, to the next, to its final, or its next destination. I gotta hop, but this was great. Thank you, Tippy. Thank you, Rob, for sharing. And
Thanks, JD.
Yeah, and it was nice to meet you, Earl. And
JD, while you're at the other meeting, if you can multitask, text me secretly your vote or something you want me to say in the breakout room if the guys want to do that.
I got you. Okay, see you guys.
See you.
Right. Well, JD.
So I know we're coming up on the hour here, but if you guys are willing to stay a little bit and dig into this and then have a vote, we could do that, or we could push it async somehow.
Yeah, unfortunately I gotta jump too, but
We're all in that text chat, aren't we?
yeah, I
Yep.
think so.
Wait, no, we're not.
Oh, no.
I'll invite the new people into the secret text chat.
Okay.
But yeah, Matt, before you leave, share.
Yeah. Kent, super awesome. Like I totally echo what JD said. Like I thought it was like your pitch was very organized, like made sense to me, and just like got me excited about your idea. I like want to hear more about it. And a couple of things I like felt myself wanting more of was just a description of a description of the materials you were using to build the structure, I just felt like I was like, oh, I wonder, like looking at your 3D design, it wasn't quite intuitive, like what the materials were for each of the pieces.
Should I have links to the actual manufacturer site that people could just click on to check, or should I just talk about it a little on my own?
Even I don't think you necessarily need to do like links to the manufacturer sites, but just like a quick description of like what everything is like made out of, I think
Okay.
would be really good.
Yeah.
And then another thing that you actually like started going into more of, like, which I would love to hear more of. I don't know if you could like squish it into like this time frame, but just like it, like ideating like what could be, like showing examples of like what could be like arranged within the structure, and like
That's where having images would really help, because I could
yeah,
run through those
totally,
quickly.
totally. You started doing that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome, because it was like helping me to like think about like with your example of like, oh, you could like take the bathroom module and like print multiple versions of it throughout the entire thing and just have a bathhouse. That was like oh my god, that's so cool. And I found myself like wondering like, oh, like what other like configurations could you do with that? So like even just like a couple more examples of like different configurations of like the different modules would be super, super awesome. But like overall, super amazing and like super exciting. And like, yeah, it was great. But yeah. All right. I gotta hop, but good to see y'all.
All
Catch
right,
y'all
yeah.
later.
Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
you
Later,
can
man. Thanks.
text me privately stuff,
Cool.
and I'll see you in the chat.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh yeah, and Rob, let's you and I like connect more about like Ambire technical stuff for sure.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I'll ping you.
We probably
All right.
should do a podcast episode about it, to be honest.
Probably. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
All right, later.
See ya.
Now I'm really interested in Ambire, because that's something I've thought all along, is why does it have to be so complicated if you have a secure account to recover your access to the account? Not just be up, like you said, it's almost like Ambire gives up. We have a bank, your safe deposit box is in the bank. To get to the safe deposit box, you have to be able to get into the bank. We can verify who you are to let you into the bank without giving you the access to the safe deposit box. You still have to have your keys private.
Your own keys. Yeah, exactly.
And I said,
Yeah,
but that's
it's such an interesting way that they came to it. Like it's awesome in that. Like I was building paper wallets. I was making paper wallets with my friend in back in like 2016, 2017, where we were like, okay, well, if we're going to make like a paper backup wallet that's going to go into a fireproof safe or whatever, versus going like, oh, the metal route where you etch or you configure the little tiles in the right order to save your seed phrase. It's like taking the QR code and breaking it down into multiple pieces and then printing it on transparent pieces of vellum, and you had to organize it in the correct manner so that it all lined up to then rearrange. So like making puzzles extra, it was like going the extra route just to make something that needs to be secure more secure.
No, it made no sense to me, because when I was in the military, we did a lot of classified work. That's why I understand the idea of a blockchain, the whole immutable accountability, everything. We used to just do signature, chain of signature, who had physical custody of something.
Right.
And I said, it's just crazy to me that we have to work so hard to get in and out of something. Like if we had a musical password that you make up, you can remember that.
Nice.
But like you don't have to write it down. You're going to remember that little musical tune. A melody is easy to remember, to make up on your own, that no one else can know. But this idea of having multiple copies of pieces of paper around my house in off-site locations, that doesn't feel very secure to me.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get it figured out, but it's like when I try to get people interested in it who are my age, I get to see their eyes glaze over because I don't understand it well enough to explain it. And I said, I'm not even sure I should try. I like the idea of people are on the blockchain and don't even know they're on the blockchain. Why do they have to know the security technology?
That's what it should feel like. It's the same as like if you go to use your credit card, you don't care about which third-party vendor they use for gateway and what fee they're paying and how then that technology works and what.
And if you look into it, you don't want to use your credit card anymore.
Right. Good point.
Earl, did you want to share some feedback for Kent's?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was really good. It was way, yeah. Obviously I've heard of it before. But yeah, I think the it would be good to, this would be like, this is the technical where people want to know how it's being built. There's obviously also like the use case, and also like what does it mean for me as a consumer. Like what you know, what's the benefit and stuff like that. And that definitely, it would be really awesome to have like a slide deck and stuff like that, like to show what people are paying today, like what are the costs and what are the burdens they have today, and what
That's it. It's the cost of ownership that people don't think about when they get all excited about buying a house. It's like, but you realize how much it's going to cost you just to maintain that house?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can't not maintain it. I mean, you can choose not to, which a lot of people unfortunately do. And you see that because you're just letting your assets rot before your
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah.
And like that's for me is like the biggest sell for sure, because that's from like more of a consumer side. From a technical side, I really like how it's being built and how it's hexagonal and how it's like pure or like it's like there's a method, there's a reason behind these techniques. But then also like it would be awesome to have like a consumer's perspective, like consumer business side of it. Yeah.
That's an interesting concept. Just like you said, the number of fasteners, like comparing the number of fasteners in a typical wood frame house versus a decaying house.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like the little prototype I'm building for my friend, we're not using the giant stainless steel lag bolts everywhere. And the main reason for that is I'm having trouble getting the plates manufactured. They said 6 weeks turnaround. I ordered in the beginning of August. I checked in the middle of September and they hadn't started.
Oh wow.
Something got, it's like,
So
so now
all
I had
metal
to,
fabricated.
yeah, they were all going to be laser cut out of stainless steel.
Yeah.
So I had to just take my prototypes I had originally to put those as the base to hold the columns. And then I just fabricated on a CNC machine with my partner, plywood versions to
Nice.
build the unit, saying I'll go back later and replace them. But because I was using plywood, I didn't want to just put lag screws through it. I just went ahead and got the stainless steel wood screws that we would use. And it worked great. And I'm like, you could just build the whole house with plywood. You wouldn't necessarily even
And a
have to have
CNC.
stainless steel.
Just a CNC and plywood.
Yeah, because that's what my friend Rick did. He just cranked out a bunch on the CNC, and I used those, and it worked fine. It's looking good. So I mean, but to really take this into production, I want to manufacture these roof panels, and that's that takes tooling up front, and that's where the idea of creating we've got this idea of how to market this by using NFTs, and then people can like pre-purchase their units. And that gives us the money, literally like by taking deposits, we can pay for the tooling to manufacture the pieces that people are going to need to put this all together. So I'm in the process of now trying to work out that business plan. Is how do I get it to that scale and get it going? Because I want to
reach out with the KIFT guys.
Like no, I would like to. I tried to contact them on Twitter, but nobody ever got in touch with me.
Yeah, they have a pretty open Discord and everything, because they did the similar thing with the RV concept. They're trying to fund RVs and custom built vans. So that idea of then having the NFT project fund the community and then bring the cost down on the custom van builds, essentially. So they're doing it for 40,000 less than, plus they're taking the deposits. So that I'd love to try and connect you over there.
Yeah, dude. Cool. Do you have a person that you talk to over there?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, let me ping and see who would be the right person to talk about the business plan stuff.
Yeah, because if there is already a similar project that uses NFTs in this way to Kent's is, we're thinking in terms of the individual pieces, like by each piece. And then it's also doing the logistics of the thing as well. Like you get the trail of when everything is made. Oh, your NFT has that piece is now been made. And now it's actually waiting. This current status is upgraded from unmade to in warehouse, and then
That's
blah,
interesting.
right?
Could actually do a self-supply chain.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I used to do. That's what I did with global supply chains for the military for 8 years. So the idea
Nice.
of being able to track everything from the
Yep.
point of origin right through to the point of placement. Like, it's good to
Yeah.
know, okay, the part was made by Honeywell, which jet did it go on? And then it got cannibalized off that jet. Which jet is it on now? Because we have a recall on that part. Where is it? We used to do
Yeah.
all that manually. So the idea of having it just all done digitally, I'm like, hallelujah.
Right. And on an immutable blockchain that you don't have to maintain on
Yeah.
top of it all.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think about other industries that are involved in housing. I said, well, from an insurance standpoint, you know exactly how the building is built. You know exactly how much each component costs. You know how much, like there's a record, there's an
Full
accountability chain.
breakdown, but all
There's a
chain,
full
yeah.
breakdown of everything. So if the house were to blow down and 95% of it's no good, but 5% is still good, the insurance company knows exactly the amount to reimburse to replace those pieces. And the digital files still exist. So the house can literally be rebuilt exactly as it was.
That's super interesting.
Ooh. Nice.
And it commoditizes the raw pieces to build a robust structure, but what it does, it also creates a blank canvas that people can then customize those blank pieces. And that's where the NFT level thing comes in, of people having ownership of, there's only 10 of this particular, design that will ever be cut into this threshold, or this designer has this way of doing, like we have designer kitchens
Like
now
the
in homeowners,
stairs even. Yeah, totally.
right. Yeah. Or this is the staircase, and you could copy it, but you don't have the NFT that shows you proof of ownership. And that's what gives you the real value on this house, is you have total proof of ownership of every component in the house. So then for that owner, you can
like
get your
access
own
to the
financing by
masters
putting that
for the
NFT out for people to buy without giving up your occupancy of the home.
What was
So
that?
you can
Ryan?
do a
that's
home equity
interesting.
loan on your own whenever you want without consulting a bank.
Well, and because you have a piece, because you participated in the piece of the original machining cost, because that machining cost remains in perpetuity, and it only is useful or valuable if you continue to manufacture with that original machining cost having been sunk into, that machine shop, or to the tooling itself. Obviously, you could take the tooling somewhere else once it's been created, so to speak.
Yeah.
depending on what
The
it is.
value added processing of the raw
Yeah.
commodity. Yeah. But it's a thing.
No,
So
that's
then
really
for if
interesting.
you have a shop like that, wouldn't it be great to become a franchisee? Because then you have a
Yeah.
captive audience of people who can only get their NFT realized in the physical world by coming to these licensed shops that have the proven capability of, meeting the technical standards required.
Yeah, that's
So,
really cool.
And then they can continue to just go from the raw materials into manufacturing the blanks, which can be put into kits, but then people want to do the upgrades. And I was going to leave all that upgrade gravy on the table for the franchisees,
Mm.
So we can
No, and
create
even
the
that
market.
idea of the designer
The
side.
market is a registry. So you don't need land, you don't need title companies. You have a global title company through the registry, the marketplace that handles the NFTs. It would be, I just think it's a way we could open up real estate for everybody, because there's so many people right now that have no way to participate in it. And
For that,
even if they're not going to have their own home, they can own a piece of appreciating real estate in a building anywhere. And that
yeah, that's a really cool
ownership-
piece to it.
And the ownership can actually occur before the piece is made physical.
You're saying
I mean by
that I could help crowdfund your house,
exactly.
and then
Imagine
and just just check a box that says let him live there, or give me this much in rent.
you could do that too. Oh, that I didn't think about the rent
Yeah,
side. of
that's
it.
interesting. No, that's super interesting. Because the market just opens up to
Wow.
anyone.
You just
then there.
fractionalized rent. I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
But I was thinking my example was, you know how couples are, they're going to get married, so they go register at, you know, they have a gift register.
Right.
Well, instead of registering for toasters, you register for a bedroom door and, you know, a shower, like the pieces of the house.
The pieces
So your
that you
family,
need, yeah.
yeah, the family and friends can finance your house. And my thought was that they would just give it over to you freely, and then you've got that NFT, and you can go to a production facility
NFT to
and say,
own.
right, they
NFT
give
to
you-
own.
But
Instead of renting
if
to
the
own or
original
slowly
person
trying to
keeps
accrue up.
ownership of the NFT but allows you to manufacture the physical piece to build your house, they still own the NFT. So as the house appreciates, if you ever do sell the physical house, they get their share of their original investment in your house.
Cool.
I don't know
That's-
if
And
people
it's
are
just
gonna
naturally
be,
tracked.
I don't know if people are gonna be like doing that for wedding gifts. Exactly.
No, I mean, but that was just my idea of how like multiple people coming together to fund
Yeah.
one thing.
You
know.
could, it's quite
You could
quite
say
cool
a high school
because
football team wants to, you know, do a traveling locker room. You know, they
yeah,
all
I think
pitch in.
one thing that's missing from your pitch or your shill is that you're not like one thing I would do, like, so I'll just be transparent with the overall feedback. Like Robert had really good call to action for us, the audience members. And so he was like, you know, we're going to be launching this community. There are these things you could do. There are these things. You know how to make a meme? Well, we got something for you. Like, it was really inclusive and gave anybody who was listening a way to take action. And Kent, you like, we're all excited for it. And so there's not easy next steps.
But yet there's nothing to interact with yet. That's the problem. I got to get that going.
But what is the strength of that is that you can say, you are right now so early in this process that if you just keep supporting me and like help out and like maybe help me build a landing page, blah, 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 then you can be in early and be part of this thing that has so many potentials. And I haven't even thought of half of them yet, because I've just been focusing on getting something that I could build. Because your main focus right now is building a hexagonal house, right? That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so you're physically doing that, and eventually
That's
I'm
a
gonna
really
be
good point to be.
right.
Yeah, it's like how the Tiny House DAO group is coming together, and there are like all these people around the various projects. It's like, I want to just get behind Decine House, and I need to know how I can figure out a way that I can start helping Decine House and this community of people that want to help Kent build this thing
Yeah.
in any way. Like, because I keep seeing like in Tiny House side, or like others, like Oliver has his design and his whole project, and Kent has his project, and they're equally interesting. But I also, like, I'm sure there will be allegiance in it, people interested, but I almost just want like everyone to just start working on one thing together.
Yeah.
But I also really like Kent's design, and there's a lot of thoughtful thinking. And I loved what Earl said about Kent's. I think he almost was about to say something about like the mathematical perfection, or there's a reason behind, versus Oliver is interesting, but it's like, ooh, let's solve this problem. Oh, and then I moved into this corner. Oh shoot, I've got to solve this problem, versus like the math just works for Kent, the design and everything. So
Bees are the sweetest dang thing, and they make that honey, and they tessellate their hexagons.
there you go.
They actually don't make hexagons. They make cylinders, and gravity pulls it into hexagons for them. No, it's true.
Well,
They did an experiment with bees in zero gravity, and they made cylindrical.
well,
That's the whole thing. You're approximate, but we
tomato.
exist in a gravity well. So the idea of the hex, it just shows
The fact
put a
that
force in one
gravity
direction.
created a perfect hexagon out of a certain cylinder.
That's what I'm
That's it.
saying. It's like,
Have you ever seen this guy, the bubble man?
It's like fluid dynamics.
Well, the guy who blows bubbles, and when he blows the bubbles and he does a spherical packing, what you end up with is a perfect hexagon at the center of it. because all the pressure, the physics
I
of
know
it
that
works
one.
out to create this. Yeah, it's incredible.
I know that video. Yeah, that is incredible.
And like I said, I worked up on Mauna Kea with these incredible telescopes, and you know, the gentleman biomimicry, he said we can't make a lens as big as we want because gravity deforms the lens. But if we make a whole bunch of small lenses that we can pack together like a bug's eye, which is all hexagons. So that's what the Keck telescope
But
is all
they're
based on. I
actually
used to stand under this
cylinders,
incredible
Kent.
machine all the time going, within
They're not
300 thousandths of an inch, they can move these things. It's just incredible.
But
So I said, if we could
the
put that kind of
bug's
position-
eyes, Kent, they're not actually hexagons, they're cylinders.
Well,
Gravity
because-
turns them into hexagons.
Full
You just-
circle. I mean, full hexagon.
Yeah,
well, they're actually on a
so
dome, so it's kind of different.
we are at
But yeah.
time here. Any last words before I stop the recording?
All cabin should go to Kent. He wins hands down.
You forfeit, we don't have to have a deliberation meeting?
No, give that money and let's start a sub community. I mean, I know that you're actively doing this all day, every day, Kent, and I, so for sure. But yeah, all backing to Kent.
All right, well then I'm going to stop there. Earl's
Well,
browsing. the
everyone gets to
internet.
vote anyway, but thank you.